Today I'm building a video editing app. Yes, I know there's plenty of video editing apps out there already, but mine's different. Mine's better. I promise you it's going to be better. I've got all these ideas and all these places I want to take it, but I have to just bring myself back to basics and say, how do I start with the development of this whole process? I start off by drawing a wireframe of what I want to build, the video, preview, and timeline. That's a good starting point where everything else, all the other features can build on. Split the clips, move the timeline, delete sections of the clip, the rudimental basic functionality of editing the clip. I've been building in public now for a couple of years, and I found the best way to just announce what I'm building on Twitter is just to say, today I'm building an app for learning piano music and sheet music. It's a crowded space, but I found a few underserved keywords which I think I could rank for. Apps in this space are selling subscriptions for $30 per week. We were gifted a musical keyboard from family, and I've always liked those apps that could detect notes on the keyboard and progress through the music. Did some research and discovered that keywords like learn piano and sheet music look like they could be quite achievable in terms of ranking. And I guess because these apps are sort of creating a skill, it's something that you can learn from. Instead of paying for a tutor, you can use one of these apps. There's a very high value proposition built into it, to the tune of some of these apps are subscription based for $35 per month. I gamified it, so you have lives. Every time you lost a life, it was game over. I trialed it with my kids and they didn't actually like the life system because it would say game over and then they would just give up and move on. So the reward was more of a positive reward mechanism where when they finish the section, they get a star. If they didn't finish the section, it wouldn't say game over. It would just get them to restart the section all over again. I haven't found a need to monetize it yet. If I go back in there, there's a lot of functionality that I want to rebuild. It's a little bit laggy when you press too many notes at the same time. I was still learning SwiftUI, and now when I think back of how it was coded and how jittery it is, I know that I could use a lot more functionality for background threading and make it a bit more smoother. So before I monetize this one, I wanted to get back in there and just refresh it, something I haven't had time to do. So by my calculations, I think it would produce around about $300 to $400 per month. It would be worth around about $7,200 to sell it. So that might be a future project to show you the process of monetizing an app that hasn't been monetized. I'm building a simple metal detector in Swift. This should be a quick build. I want to learn about the device sensors using core motion. So I asked ChatGPT to generate a boilerplate. The first version was actually pretty decent and compiled the first time, which is always a bonus. Then I added a GIGO click sound and detected the device gyroscope pitch rotation to be aligned with the Earth's magnetic field. This is the code as it was created by ChatGPT. And then I went all out. I had so much fun just building a cool little animation on the screen for detecting metal. So this is the app, and you move it next to something that has metal. I was really impressed with that. Let's see how it's going. Over the past 90 days, it has produced 2,000 downloads and proceeds $597 in revenue. So about $200 per month. If I sold that tomorrow, it would be worth around about $4,700. Today, I'm building a app. No, seriously, today I'm building a bowel movement tracker app. This one has been on my keyword watch list for a while, but I avoided it because, well, I didn't really want to look at poop for days. This was one of the first apps that got a bit of attention when I was building it. Just went through my normal process of building the app, but then I became known as the poop guy. And I branded myself. I did it to myself. I branded myself as the poop guy. And the debacle that I had building this one with the imagery of poop and the way that Apple review rejected my app because it had depictions of poop was quite a comical process that did grab a bit of attention online. I'm just laughing at the imagery that's used. I ended up having to censor it and having a warning pop up to say, this can include offensive imagery. Do you accept? And then it got through the review team, the review process. Yeah, it was a flop. Some might say it was crap. Total downloads over 3 months, 228. So 76 downloads per month. That would make $20, $30 a month. Yeah. Did I need to build an app that forever branded me as the poop guy? No. Did I get anything out of it? No. I got a few likes, a few followers. That's what counts, right? But I think I did irreparable damage to my brand, my personal image. Let me take you back to how it all started. App development as my art therapy, or how I overcame my mental breakdown with coding. Oh, you develop apps. Good money in that. It's the first thing people say when they find out I'm a developer, a designer, and a coder. Yes, it's true. When I worked for others as a coder and designer for hire, I did indeed make good money. Until I burnt out, that is. You see, I never really got into development for the money. That was a byproduct of a passion I always had. Designing software, apps, and experiences became my self-expression and identity. Like a writer or a musician, I was passionate about exploring ideas, creating new concepts, and building on existing ones. But that all changes when you're a coder for hire. Your creative control is zapped from you and you're too mentally exhausted to pursue your own projects. You're left leasing your mental real estate to others. Don't get me wrong, it's fun at first, but sooner or later you wake up realizing your spark is gone. Well, that's what happened to me anyway. The endless deadlines and constant calls about code issues or things breaking tend to wear you down over time. It was enough to lead me to a full mental breakdown. My brain just ceased to access that higher level of thinking, the part of your brain required for problem solving, which, as it turns out, is the part of your brain needed for coding, which made a lot of people very angry with me. After all, they were reliant on me performing the tasks I promised. I had let them down, which fueled my mental health breakdown even further. But all of a sudden, my identity, income, and purpose was taken away from me. Don't worry, it's okay now. There's a happy ending. Over time, my mental agility returned and I was able to start writing code again. My mind returned to that state of an inquisitive child learning about the world of computers, programming, ideas, and creation all over again. My mental breakdown was my renaissance, and the ideas flowed, first in small drips and then in streams, until all of a sudden it was a tidal wave of creativity. I'm no longer a coder for hire, but I haven't given it up. Now I code, create, design, and explore ideas in my spare time. I'm no longer accountable to anyone. I no longer have deadlines. Now I'm finally free to develop the apps, designs, and ideas that interest me. I'm in a privileged position where I can give back to the world and create something meaningful and impactful. Or, at the very least, express myself in the only way I know. In 2020, I'll be aiming to release a new app, idea, or project every month. I'll be documenting my progress to show you what works and what doesn't. Some will flop, and I don't mind. After all, it's therapeutic, relaxing, and fun. Yes, fun. I'm that weirdo who enjoys ideas and creating. There's no business model in place, and there's no real structure. I'll just be releasing the initial beta versions for free. If my work gains momentum or people start to take an interest, I can see what sort of resources can be pulled to take the idea further. Stay tuned, friends. So the first free app that I released was in 2020, January 23rd, called a Book Flipper Companion. You take a photo of the spines of books in a bookstore. It looks up the names of all of the books on eBay and Amazon and determines which books are the most valuable so that you can purchase the book for $1 or $2 and flip it for $50. And I released that to the fanfare of my friends and family on Facebook to the tune of 1 comment and 3 likes. I left the safety and the security of my family and my friends on Facebook, and I delved into Twitter and just started documenting my process on Twitter. On April 3rd, 2022, I documented my first build in public project to the tune of 3 likes and 1 comment. Over the next 14 days, I am building Mobius from the ground up and documenting my process. And this was a fun build. So this was a project that I wanted to rebuild from scratch, and I wanted to document the process on Twitter. And I went through the process of drawing up the wireframes and just get stuck into coding, complete with my son looking very happy like a minion sitting in my lap. I have to schedule these videos around times where we're kid-free. So the kids are at school, the kids are at childcare. So the issue there is I have to come up with the ideas of the video to record them when the kids aren't around. And if I miss that deadline, then no matter how much editing I do, if there's parts of the recording that I've missed, then game over. Like, I just have to work out a way to make it work. And this was case in point in last video. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versions of that video was uploaded to YouTube and removed before the deadline at midnight. I wasn't happy with the final version of it. I wasn't happy with each iteration of it. I was trying to work out what the storyline was in that video. And the storyline started out that it was my challenge. Does ChatGPT make you a 10x developer? Last year, I built 9 SwiftUI projects in 1 month. I was already building an app per month, and I decided to test the theory. Does ChatGPT make you a 10x developer? Turns out, no, it only makes you a 9x developer. I had already made a commitment that I was building an app per month. As I was editing it, like after I'd already recorded it, after I'd already put together all of the content, it became very apparent that the story in the video was actually, do these AI apps actually generate any money? That was the hook. In the end, I just hit publish and got out what I had, the stage I'd got it to with the new hook. Last year, I built 9 SwiftUI projects with ChatGPT. Now, a year later, I reveal the revenue these apps have made. These apps were actually the first apps that I ever... And to my success, it's my number 2 most successful app in the first 24 hours in the history of the channel, in the long history of 1.5 months. What I'm finding is this editing process takes time, it takes energy, and I want to automate it. There's plenty of video editing tools out there. I use Premiere Pro. There's also CapCut, a lot of tools out there to edit videos. So I'm not exactly replacing these tools that are already out there. I mean, ultimately that could be the end game for this product in a year or 2 years' time of development. But for this stage, in this instance of my own journey and my own career, this is a tool that I'm building primarily for myself to speed up the editing process of videos by like 80%. And then put it into Premiere Pro or put it into CapCut. So I think it's all possible, and I think it's possible to make this thing a reality, create a video editing suite that I use for myself that I can release in the future for public consumption, where it reduces my editing time of videos for the talking head type videos by 80%. I've got my tasks to build, to get the first basic version up and running so I can start adding on top of it. I want to be able to import videos. I want to be able to preview the video and the timeline. I've already got an app that does a lot of the grunt work of video editing, my ScreenRiz app. But the core component there is I've got the interface and I've got the engine already built. That app is already on the App Store and it's already producing videos, albeit a very simple basic version of it. So my first task is to create a new project in Xcode, import everything I've created for ScreenRiz and just start modifying it so that I can edit videos on this thing instead of just static screenshots. With any project, getting it to compile the first time is the most exciting thing you could do. And it works.